Now, my next guest was a breakout Hollywood star of the 90s, most recently appearing in things like The Bear and Oppenheimer. Now, Josh Hartnett is back on the big screen in his latest thriller, Trap.
Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. I can leave you here in the seat.
I'm good, Dad.
Right? Hi.
Psst. Cooper.
Jamie.
What's with all the police trucks outside? The cameras everywhere, Jamie.
I'm not supposed to tell.
Something happening?
Don't rat me out.
Something is definitely happening, and Josh joins us now this morning. Good morning, Josh. Thank you very much for talking to us about your new movie, Trap.
Good.
And it starts out so well. We have our attentive father taking his adoring daughter to a concert, but there are alarm bells very early on. All is not what it seems. What more are you allowed to tell us at this point?
Well, I think it's pretty well documented that he's a serial killer. And so Cooper, his daughter, obviously has no idea what he does in his off hours, but he's a kind of reputable member of the community. He's a firefighter. He seems to be a loving father and husband, and underneath that, or behind that, is the kind of true monster. And working with Knight on this, we knew that we wanted to create a really strong exterior of like a really good girl dad, and then have that veneer crack relatively early, like you said, in the film. And that's why we can say that in the trailer. It's not a big twist, but you get a chance to kind of get to know this guy and understand his dilemma, and hopefully you get to kind of love him a little bit.
But it's that dynamic and relationship with his daughter that makes it really difficult to watch sometimes, because you love her so much. Ariel Donahue, who plays your daughter so beautifully in this, and I just so desperately didn't want something to happen to her.
Exactly. Well, neither does he. That's the thing that kind of separates this from other films of this nature, is that he clearly has a really strong relationship with his daughter and with his family, and he is coming to some sort of reckoning and understanding of himself that's different from what he had thought he was before.
But like you say, it's very layered, but he is capable of doing the most hideous crimes, but adores his children, likes order in his home, a very complex character to embody from your perspective.
Very complex, but also a lot of fun. Like, the thing that I want to get out there that I want people to understand is that this movie is meant to be a lot of fun. It's a ride, it's like a 90s style thriller taken from a totally different angle, so that you're seeing the antagonist as the protagonist, which you usually wouldn't. I guess it's kind of like seeing Die Hard from Hans Gruber's perspective. Like, it's supposed to be a fun romp. This is just Knight's twisted way of getting in there.
Yeah, it definitely is that. I mean, the concert, Lady Raven's concert, that all of the youngsters are absolutely crazy about going to, and of course your character takes the daughter, but the concert is in fact a major police trap, which is an interesting dynamic and an interesting place to create the tension.
There's the juxtaposition of this very dangerous character in the midst of a sea of screaming fans, right? It's not supposed to be, for me as an actor, it was a character study, but from an audience perspective, it's supposed to kind of, that juxtaposition is supposed to be, scintillating and fun, and you never know what's going to happen next because of the sort of odd nature of this pairing. But actually, that story, that concept came from a real life event, and that's why Knight started writing this screenplay from this perspective. Is that back in the 1980s, there was a bunch of felons that were offered a potential seat at the Super Bowl in the U.S. If they showed up at this convention center at a certain time. And they all showed up, and so there were cops dressed as cheerleaders, cops dressed as mascots, and they were all just like, they were there to have this sting and collect all these felons and put them in jail. And they all came willingly because this sting worked really well. I think it's the only time that ever worked. Obviously, Cooper hadn't heard about that before the film.
You certainly got first-hand experience of how fantastic and indeed crazy it is to take daughters to a concert, because you went to Wembley like thousands of other parents recently to see Taylor Swift.
I did. My daughters are Swifties, and they have they've enlisted me into that crowd. I've got it playing constantly. Every time I go into my car on my own now, it's still Taylor Swift. And then you're like, oh, wait, I can change this now. But when they're in the car, it's 100% Taylor Swift all the time. And so they brought me, I think, like a month ago. And that was the first big concert that they've gone to. I mean, they're young, 8 and 7 years old. So yeah, it was quite an experience. And I got a chance to really understand the kind of fervor with which the audience responds to the artist on stage, and the sort of connection that they feel. It's remarkable.
Yeah,
it's
and
intense.
indeed the bracelets. We can't forget the bracelets. That's very important as well, Josh. I have
the
to
bracelets.
say, you call England your home now, and you talk about your daughters as well. Does it feel like home at this stage?
Oh, 100%. Wherever my family is my home. So I don't have I never expected to be living in the English countryside. It wasn't like something that I anticipated for my life, but I am absolutely delighted to be part of the English countryside lifestyle now. My daughters are very happy. My family generally are very happy. And we get to go back to the States and visit the rest of my family all the time. And yeah, we're very lucky.
You have worked the balance. Josh, thank you very, very much for catching up with us today. A Trap. It is a psychological thriller.
Thank you.
So, as you say, there's a bit of fun in there, but it's very intense to watch in many parts as well. It is in the cinemas on Friday. Thank you so much. It's fun. Let's not forget it. Thanks so much, Josh.